We'll talk a little bit more about not having a fixed place, floating. Now, what often gets mentioned when we talk about that is, oh, that means I'm wishy-washy. I don't have anything that is have an opinion about anything. So what's difficult to explain here is, whenever we talk about anything like that, what we're actually talking about is the past and projecting a future. And you see, the mind doesn't know that that's what it's doing. The mind thinks that that is reality. Taking into consideration the past and projecting the future, that is reality, and that isn't reality. It has nothing to do with reality. The only thing that has anything to do with reality is now, right now, just as it is. And the mind isn't comfortable with that, because it has to know, and that's its job, to keep you safe. So when we say not knowing, then we say, oh, well, that's wishy-washy then. But no, you see, it's like this. If something is said to you, and you just listen, you don't have a position, you don't compare it to anything in the past or what you think is the future or what you... No comparison. You just listen as a little child. You just listen. You're not comparing it to anything. But then you say, that's wishy-washy. Oh no. What happens is, if it's relevant to you, it'll go straight in there and you'll know what it is. And if it's not relevant, you let it go. So we talk about saying yes, and what the mind says, oh, I have to say yes to everything. That's wishy-washy. Oh no. You say yes to everything, and when a no comes up, you say yes to the no. Because when something isn't relevant for you, it's absolutely clear if you're in the moment. If you go to the past to compare it, well, it could be this, it could be that. No, there's no could be this or that. When you're here, in this moment, as empty as you know how to be, if there's nothing relevant for you, you say, oh yes, oh yes. And then something comes up. No, I do not see it that way. I'm not saying it is another way. I'm saying I don't see it that way. And eventually what happens, it's like a clearing in the mist. And you don't know what's there, but you absolutely know what isn't there. You know what isn't relevant for you or anything. Absolutely you know. Without knowing what is, and that's the difficult part. How can you know what isn't without knowing what is? Well, in each moment you never know what is, because each moment is born new, born fresh. And so are you in each moment. Take no thought of tomorrow. Just be here now. And the clarity is amazing. Try it. Here's another aspect to what I was just talking about. What somebody just mentioned is, if I don't have an opinion, if I don't have a place I come from, then who am I? Well, you see, that's what I'm trying to share. There isn't a you as your mind is trying to tell you. You see, when you say you, what you're actually talking about is all the information, all the conditioning you've been given about you, not only personally, but as a human being. What's possible and not possible, who you are and who you're not. And so we don't feel secure if we don't know who I am in this moment. And the fact is, you don't know who you are, because everything's changing all the time. But we want a fixed place. We're comfortable in a fixed place. Oh yes, now this is my character, this is my personality. If you ask somebody who they are, they say, I'm a police person, I'm an artist, I'm a scientist. No, you're not. You're not any of those things. That's what you do. That's how you spend your time and energy or earn your money. But that isn't who you are. So who are you? Here we are with the classical question, who am I? And then often what we think with that is, well, who am I? And what we're looking for is some sort of box. But you see, you are whoever you are in each moment. So you might be one person in this moment, and then somebody tells you you've just won the lottery. You're suddenly a different person on all levels. About your thoughts, about your physical possibilities, about your emotions. Everything changes. Well, you see, everything is changing all the time. But we keep trying to fix it so we know who we are. I am this sort of person. This is what I like and this is what I don't like. Well, that might be appropriate in that moment, but what about this moment? This moment. And that's how it is with a child, you see. He doesn't remember the past. It's, oh, this moment. That's why you can read the same bedtime story to a child every night, night after night after night, because it's still fresh to them. It's still alive to them, until it isn't. And then they'll say something else. So what we're looking for, whether we know it or not, is something fixed inside ourselves to say, that's me, that's who I am, that's what I like, that's what I don't like. And that is your restriction. That's your prison. Because you're not anything fixed. Thou art that. And what's that? It's something you can't explain. The Tao, the way, the kingdom of God, the peace that passeth all understanding. All these things you can't explain. That's who you are in each moment, if you live in each moment. But if you're trying to define yourself, this is who I am, you're dead, waiting to be buried. And you're not that. You're alive. You are life. You are living. Your movement, your change. Like everything else. You look at a tree. Ah, a tree. It's fixed. No, take a look. There's always a movement, even if there isn't a wind. And if you bring an electron microscope, you find it's only movement. Everything's moving in there and changing. In every little tiny part of that tree. So take a leaf, put it under an electron microscope. You don't find a leaf. All you find is life and movement and change. So what about you? You're even more developed than a leaf. Every single cell in you is an individual. Every single cell. And inside every single cell is another level, is a molecule, is an atom, is a something, is a something, is a something, until the part that science can't find, the basic construction of life, you can't find it, because there isn't one. You see, there is only change, and you're changing in every moment, in every cell. You see yourself as a person, as a body, but your liver doesn't do that. You could say, oh, the liver sees itself as a liver, but then inside the liver is another part, another part, another part. We're a combination. Right, we're a combination of liver and lungs and heart and this, and makes it up to me. But you see, you're not separate either. You feel separate, you look separate, but you're not separate. Because your frequency, your vibrations, the very things that are humming inside of you are humming outside of you as well. Inside and outside. When you see the inside as the outside and the outside as the inside, you're humming, you're buzzing, you're changing, you're part of everything. And you keep trying to be, oh, this is who I am. killing you. Literally killing you. That's what gives you your cancer. That's what gives you your heart attack. You're trying to be something you're not. You're not anything. You're part of everything. Changing and moving. Look at it this way. When you take a seed, you can take the tiniest seed. Jesus used a mustard seed. Let's take a tree seed. You put it in the ground, and with the right temperature and the right moisture, it grows. It can even grow through concrete, let alone through soil. It grows. Now it grows because it has to grow. It doesn't have an alternative. It doesn't sit there and think, well, am I going to grow or not grow? The right temperature, the right moisture, it grows. And it keeps growing and it keeps growing because it has to grow. And often when you cut off a tree at a certain point, it'll grow even more. It has to grow, and so do you. You do not have a choice. You do not have free will. You have to grow. Now what's growing? Growing is evolving. It's changing and moving and responding to life as it comes to you in each moment. But what have we developed through religion? What have we developed through politicians, through the old way of looking at things, through your parents? Until death us do part. The moment you say that, you're dead already, because you're not in the flow of life. I am a scientist. Well, you might be in that moment, but keep looking. You might let it go and want to be a dancer. Impossible. Or a musician. But I've put all my time and my energy into listen. Something in you is growing and moving and changing. And if you don't respond to that, you're suppressing it. You're suppressing life's energy that has to grow. So it's not growing on the outside. It grows on the inside. It distorts. It kills you. If it killed you like that, wonderful. Because death's wonderful, but it doesn't. It does it slowly. Slowly, life becomes dim. Look at old people. They're usually bitter, complaining. My mother was an exception. She was yes. But generally, old people are very unpleasant to be around because they're contracting. And on top of that is all the regrets. Oh, I wish I had. Well, if you're listening to this, it's not too late. Do it now. Make that decision now. You're right. I'm not happy in that job, in that relationship, in that house, in that situation, in what I see as my future. And if you don't respond to that, you're dying a slow, miserable death. Physically, emotionally, mentally, you're dying. And it's nobody's fault. The only person that's bringing that into your life, or keeping that out of your life, is you being scared to live life as it is, rather than your neurosis would like it to be. Life is what it is. Your thoughts are just that. Fantasies, ideas, taking bits of this and bits of that and putting it together and say that's the ideal life. The ideal life is now just as it is if you respond to it. If you allow it to live you. You see, when you live life, all you're living is your neurosis. Not only your neurosis, but everybody's neurosis that's been given to you. And it doesn't work. Look around. The planet is not working as a delightful, wonderful, loving place. Whenever we see an act of kindness or love, we stop. It's amazing. It's so unusual. Normally, it's not loving, it's not caring, it's me, and fuck you. listen. Listen. Inside there is only love, and it wants to manifest itself in its own unique way, moment to moment. So you might say right now, right, I'm letting go of that job. But that's not now, that's then. Come back to now. You've already let go of that job. Feel the let go. Now, when you get to work, you may say, I'm letting go of my job, and they may say, no, we're going to promote you. No, I'm already letting go of that job. Don't do that. Listen, be there. Oh, another opportunity. I'll respond to that, and I'll respond to that. And that's living, responding in each moment. Now. And don't take it seriously.